And we are back.
Camera when I wasn't ready. I was dancing.
But a little bit of behind the scenes, Whitman is always dancing during our theme song, which, by the way,
doing this.
Shout out to Ben Rugg for writing an original piece of music for the build phase. I appreciate that. Still, that was a few years ago now. So today we are back on the build phase TV.
And here we are reviewing Black Widow. And
yes.
I'm sorry that we couldn't get any Dice Throne content for a while, but the one day when we did 3 videos, I was kind of Dice Throned out, and I just didn't want to make that kind of content for a little bit. But we are back, and I think I want to get Scarlet Witch out.
What?
Tomorrow or something?
Well, you're already skipping ahead of me. So, one thing I want to flag before we go any further: the Dice Throne Kickstarter has ended. Now, originally we said we wanted all these reviews out before the campaign ended. But real life, family over cards always is what I say. So, we didn't hit that mark. But if you are interested in supporting this product, there's a button you can click right here. That will take you to... Wait, that's the wrong one. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. I'm not sure where that button goes. But this button takes you to a page where you can late pledge on Backer Kit. That's where I meant to go. So, but we're going to scroll right past this because we did not late pledge.
We pledged early.
We pledged within minutes of the campaign going live. But today, we are going to talk about... Black Widow.
Yay!
So
Black Widow, what do you think they're going to be? And I'm going to say what I think they're going to be.
So I want a character that does sabotage-y things, somebody that kind of feels like Shadow Thief a little bit, somebody that feels like Ninja a little bit, but also maybe has like elements of the samurai or the monk in that she can get in there and kind of be scrappy in direct combat, but is also elusive on the defense. And I already know she has a time bomb status effect, which I have not read how it works yet, but I'm very excited to find out because that seems cool.
Can I tell you what I want to be? A monk ninja shadow thief.
A monk ninja shadow thief?
But there's more to it than that. I want them to be able to sabotage your rolls and
that would
be able to do a foil the plan ability or something.
Sure.
But be super hard to hit, but also be really good at martial artist, and maybe not the strongest, but be able to hit a whole bunch of little and meaningful attacks.
And not have any weaknesses except for the planet Voromir. Or Beirut, right? Okay, so first of all, before we get into any of the mechanics, what do we think of this health dial, or combat point dial? I like it. I like the explosion. I like how she's coming at you. It looks like she's cocking back for like a right hook across your chin.
I don't like how her eye looks.
Oh.
It goes out of the eyeball.
Are you being judgmental against people with green eyes? Is that what this is?
No. I mean, I have green eyes. I have swampy green eyes. But if you zoom...
Swampy?
They're like that swampy dark green. But the eye...
Okay.
It goes out of the eyeball area.
I see what you mean, except I think what that is that's like her eyeshadow, kind of.
Her eyeshadow's green?
So what do we think about the health dial?
I actually don't like that.
I like this one less. I don't see enough Black Widow here. She doesn't really look like she's doing anything like dynamic or that cool. It almost seems like we've snuck up on her and caught her by surprise, and she's going to turn around and go, "Oh, I didn't see you there," and then try to sell me something on late night TV. I mean, beautiful artwork, but not like... Okay, I like this one way better, where she's doing stuff.
I don't like either of them.
Of course, I say that, and I know there's some of these that had artwork where the character was pictured passively that I said were cool. So maybe I'm a big old hypocrite.
Just go to the side and let me say what I think.
I'm sorry.
Board. We've never ever done the hero board, but I love this artwork.
I do like the hero board. I like this, even though I understand if you're going to make like a tactical argument that a spy having a strip of illuminative anything on their costume, like a cyclist, is probably not the best call. But setting aside the actual tactical analysis of this gear, I think it looks awesome. I really like that. I like that flourish. I have not seen Black Widow with that particular flourish before, so I think that might be a Manny original.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like how the street light just affects the scene and how I'm pretty sure they're being chased here because you can also see the car lights behind them.
I think that's another street light, bud.
Well, then why is there one here?
Because that's the other side of the street.
No one cares about street lights.
Okay.
Well, I want to say being chased, motorcycle, because motorcycles are used in the red
There's a fleet
rail.
of motorcycles coming after it? Okay.
And there's one flying, and that's what the top light is.
All right, so let's hop into covert ops. All right.
Stack limit 3, it's a unique status effect, and ooh.
And just to remind anybody, unique status effect means it can't be removed and transferred like regular status effects that are the proper disc, or the common disc shape and size.
And also, if they are, if they aren't a circle. Well, use to look at the,
You may spend this token once per turn.
Look at or rearrange cards.
Are you going to read it or am I going to read it?
Me?
Okay, you
I
read
just
it.
couldn't read rearrange cards.
Well, but you're skipping the whole first part, dude.
I was saying the top part.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you may spend this token once per turn during your main phase to do one of the following effects. You put an ability from your hand into play. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. If none of them are ability upgrades, you may reveal these cards, search your deck for an ability upgrade, and show it to your opponent and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. Otherwise, put them back in any order. This token may not be transferred or removed by any means.
So
I love that.
So there's 2 modes here. There's a mode where you get to play an upgrade for free. Well, it's not free, but it doesn't cost CP. It only costs this token. And the second mode lets you dig, and it goes to your hand, right? Mm-hmm. It lets you dig for an upgrade that you didn't have. Now, out of those 3 cards,
you mean 3 choices?
Yeah, so you look at the 3 cards, and if one of them's an ability upgrade, you're stuck with the one that's there. If none of them are ability upgrades, you reveal them to your opponent, which does give away a little bit of information, but I think that's less about...
for covert ops.
I think that's less about building a drawback into this power, and it's more about...
not to make sure that you aren't cheating.
Yeah, it's more about making it work so that your opponent can verify that you're not cheating, and just searching for whatever the best upgrade is at the time, rather than being stuck with a subpar one. I would almost prefer to have the second mode, where I get a search, than choosing from the 3, but I like the first mode better than both of the second 2 options.
I would have said the second option. I mean the third.
I think ultimately the being able to play an upgrade for no CP cost. Now, we don't know how much your upgrades are going to cost. Are they going to be 2? Are you only saving 2 CP? Well, that doesn't seem as good. But there's upgrades out there that are 4, in which case that would be a huge discount.
Can I just tell you what I'm thinking here?
Yeah, that is sort of the point of this.
But this is about flavor. So, covert ops, show your opponent your hand. Do you see how those compete against each other?
Yeah.
But I do like that because it makes sure that no one's cheating, and I don't like cheaters ever. I mean, we can all agree that cheaters are...
They wouldn't be able to make the searching the deck contingent on whiffing in the top 3 cards without revealing the cards. But I do agree that showing your hand to your opponent during a move called Covert Ops feels a little bit like non-synergy with the name. I see your point.
But that art is amazing, and yeah. Okay, agility is a positive status effect.
Stack limit 2.
I don't like the art on this.
She's doing a cool somersault. What do you mean
you
don't like that?
She's doing a barrel roll.
I think that's awesome, man.
I don't, because...
So positive status effects go on ourselves. We don't put those on other people, generally.
Unless they transference and stuff.
When a player with this token receives damage, they may spend it and roll a d6. On a 1 to 3, prevent half the incoming damage. Ugh. So this is like Smoke Bomb, right?
No, Smoke Bomb's complete.
Well, but Smoke Bomb's...
1 through 3, yes.
1 through 3, yeah. And Evasion is 1 or 2. But Evasion...
Evasion Smoke...
Is there a token that eliminates... No, I'm thinking of the Moon Elf's defensive power.
Oh, no. There is a token that blocks half, but it is in the Paladin set.
Yeah, I don't think you roll for that, though. You just use...
No, it just
Protect,
blocks half.
I think it's called. Yeah. So 50% of the time, this does absolutely nothing.
But I mean, it's a Smoke Bomb, and I love Smoke Bombs.
Yeah, but Smoke Bomb it blocks all the damage. This blocks. I mean, this is better than having no effect to block damage at all.
Yeah.
But this feels
not with
a little
Black
bit
Widow.
weak.
This feels not with Black Widow.
Well, I mean, she's doing a somersault to get away.
Barrel roll.
Time bomb. Okay, I'm really excited for this one. So
Okay,
negative status effect.
One.
No, I'm gonna read this one.
No, I am. Okay, roll up. So stack 1 and 2.
You put this on somebody else.
Amazing art. Okay.
That is great art.
Roll up to 6 dice to attempt to defuse. Take 4 damage if you run out of time.
Oh, so it's got a 1 on the other side.
Oh, I love that. So when inflicting this token, you may...
If you have
at least 6 ability cards in play. Ooh.
Well, covert ops will help us with that.
Yeah, of course. Place it on top...
on the one side.
On the one side. Otherwise, place it on the 2 side up. So during your upkeep phase, I'm guessing you have to roll. And on 1 through 5, advance.
This probably says a player inflicted with this token must roll.
And 1 through 5, advance it. On 6, remove the token. And when a time bomb is advanced, I'm guessing it says, she was like max advantage point.
Well, we can tell from up here that it'll deal 4 damage.
If the token
we have to presume
on this side, the token blows up. If the token is not on the 2 side, goes to the 1. And I just guessed the rest of that in a paragraph.
Yeah, exactly. So this lets you do 4 damage on a delayed timer. Your opponent has a built-in way to remove it, which makes it a little bit less good than delayed poison, which is an effect that we really like in this house.
Well, I think you like
once you have the
you like these ones. I like the delayed ones.
That was supposed to be an Easter egg. Once you have the 6 upgrades in place, your opponent only gets to roll once, and they're going to have something like a 15% chance to defuse the bomb.
No.
And then it blows up.
Well, I thought you were saying the bigger percent chance to advance it.
No. Well,
to defuse
there's
it.
no advancing it. I was saying once you have the 6 upgrades and it comes out as a 1, they get 1 shot to defuse it.
Or they take 4 undefendable damage and they can do nothing about it.
So this is clearly a better effect later in the game after you've had a chance for covert ops to build up your board. Now,
I'm hoping that everything gives you covert ops in this.
Now that does mean you're going to be investing a lot of your CP in building up your board as quickly as possible if time bombs are going to be a big part of your strategy.
Well, no, because if you're doing covert ops, then and you can stack them a lot of the time, then search your deck for 1, play 1, search your deck.
I don't think covert ops by itself is going to be enough to get you to the board that's going to play into time bomb.
Yeah,
I think you're going to have to do both. You're going to be spending CP on stuff and using this to get stuff out, and if you don't have any upgrades to play, you're using covert ops to dig for upgrades instead of cheapening them. So I think there's no world in which Black Widow isn't dumping a lot of CP into upgrades, in which case does that mean her upgrades are generally cheaper? If they're generally cheaper, covert ops feels less good as a discount mechanism and maybe it's better as a fishing tool.
That's what I'm saying. I love the idea of a fishing tool. And imagine if all their abilities are like costing 4 because of it.
So we can see here that we have espionage on 1 and 2, and I can't quite read what the 3 face is, but clearly it's different. So we know that we're going to have a 2.
That's an
and that looks the same. So I think we're going to have a 2-2-1-1 dice face, and let's see if this confirms my suspicions. So 1, 2.
There's no 3.
Oh, wait a minute. 4 and 5 are the same?
I would think there's...
So if 4 and 5 are the same, and we can tell that 4 is the same as 3, so she has a 2-3-1 dice distribution?
That's never ever been seen before.
I don't know if it's never been seen before. It's still a 3-2-1, essentially, but the 3 is in the middle, which is...
Strange.
You may be right. It may have never been seen before, but
it's never been
I don't know all the
seen.
dice faces by memory.
I know them.
Okay. Well, I have full faith in you.
Tactician.
Oh, so I know them, except for here's one I can't name. Goofball. Okay, so let's move on to her basic attack. So this is a 5, 6, 7 damage spread.
I think that fits Black Widow.
Yeah, that's fine. It's not the strongest we've seen, but as a character, she's a human. So her basic attack, like essentially her basic attack is her hitting somebody with a stick. So
Hard.
this not being a 6, 7, 8 damage distribution, I think makes sense. We have to assume there's at least one upgrade for this. I would guess there's probably 2.
Yes. And yeah, we're going to skip to Infiltrate.
We can go to Infiltrate next.
I like their basic strike. It's also called the Basic
I think the
Strike.
basic strike is fine. I think it fits the character. It's not a crazy basic strike, but it's the basic strike, you know? Most of them aren't crazy.
And Infiltrate, it takes the 2 of the 3 die face, 1 of your... wait a second. 2 of the 2 die face, 1 of the 3 die face, and 1 6. Gain agility, advance all time bomb tokens, and then inflict a time bomb token.
So...
Actually, how much is the stack limit on time bomb? Isn't it 1?
Let's check stack limit. So it's 2. You can put 2 time bombs on somebody. I have a problem with this one, I think. I'm looking at the rest of her rolls. So this, to me, feels like a fallback roll. Like, this is a roll you take if something else didn't work out the way you... Oh, dude, and her batons. So the 3 face are her basic attack, but it's not 1 and 2. Interesting. And I really like this power. I like this power a whole lot. But you have to hit a 6, and then you have to hit 1 of your 2s. It feels like you're not going to get this that consistently. And being that I'm the most excited to play Black Widow because I thought the time bomb mechanic was going to be like my thing.
Wait,
that sounded
this
really
is your
fun.
number 1 most excited character?
No. Talking about Black Widow, the thing I'm most excited
This is
about
his number 1 most excited character
is
to
the
play
time
then.
bomb mechanic, and it seems to me like the time bomb mechanic, unless now we haven't looked at the rest of the board, but on the basis of this, if it's all gated behind having to roll at least 1 6, that means we're not going to get to use it as much as I would like.
Agreed, but it reminds me of this Artificer role. I can't remember what the role is, but it's a similar role, and the Artificer's role is also a help.
Eureka, schematics, I think.
Schematics.
Yeah, schematics. And schematics is core to the Artificer's strategy, so it might be I'm being a little too harsh on this.
Well, no, because also schematics takes another one of the another one of his 4 5.
Well, here, let's talk about Black Widow today, all right?
not the Artificer.
Okay. Ooh, so you begin the game with a full stack? Oh, man. I got a little too excited on that one. That makes me
Red Room.
way more excited.
Red Room Training. Passive. Begin the game with a full stack of covert ops. During, you may play abilities
that's a
during
firepower
any
too.
roll phase. If you have at least 5 upgrades. Oh my god! What is this?
So you know what's
love
really
this.
funny? I have to acknowledge a total error that we made here, and looking at it.
We
through this
should have
frame-
read the passive first.
So, what is like the core of all Natasha's power? Like the source of everything that
Red Room.
her capableness comes. Well, and I mean like her intrinsic character. She's a tough, capable woman too. But her training, in the same way that Steve Rogers is a hero, but his powers come from the Super Soldier Serum. Her powers come from the Red Room training. And I'm sitting here evaluating this character whose Red Room training is like core to who they are as a character, and not looking at Red Room training first. That was a misplay on our part. This is
Big
awesome.
misplay, especially when Taskmaster is like my favorite villain in the entire Marvel universe. And if you are looking in the comics, he controls the Red
All right,
Room.
let's not talk about Taskmaster. Let's talk about Red Room right now, because this is a mouthful
So he's
here.
part of the Red Room.
So the first part of
love
this, you begin the game with 3 covert ops. This is huge. This lets you fix if you draw a bad hand. It essentially builds a mulligan into this character, which is something I know, Manny. I've heard your arguments. You're not wrong. I get why we don't have mulligans in this game. But as somebody who comes from a lot of games where we do have mulligans, I like mulligans. And this kind of builds it in
Why
for
are they
this
called
character.
mulligans?
I think it comes from golf. I don't actually know.
Our card games come from golf?
Well, here, you talk about what you think about the 3 covert ops
Well,
stack
you
for
go
a second.
I love this ability. It really hits a spot on flavor, and the fact that you get to start with the 3 covert ops, and that allows you to at least, I feel like, guarantee that you're going to get 3 upgrades. That allows you to get to the 5 ability upgrades really quickly, and the fact that you can play them during your offensive roll phase. If you have something like like we were talking about earlier, like the schematics on the Artificer, if there's an ability like that on Black Widow where you gain CP, which I already see on Widow's Gauntlet, you can legitimately go, and what I'm wondering is, if you gain the CP from it and that happens first, and you're able to now play and upgrade for that ability, does the rest become upgraded of that ability?
So the origins of Mulligan do come from golf, but its actual source is kind of, the stories are conflicted and it's murky. So I'm not going to dig into 100% where it comes from, other than to say it comes from golf. But it means to get a second chance, which is how I mean it in the sense of referring to card games. Okay, so did you have anything else to say about Covert Ops?
Did you listen to what I said?
No, I was reading the thing about Mulligans.
Okay, here's the thing. If you have an ability that says gain a CP, but it has more stuff after it, like what we're looking at in Widow's Gauntlet next, which I can see says gain 1 CP, and you play the upgrade for Widow's Gauntlet, does the rest of your ability become upgraded?
I think the way it would work is this ability... Well, here, let's say this out loud. So you're able to play ability upgrades during any roll phase, which means you could roll your dice, decide you want to trigger an attack, target the attack, and then as like an instant action, essentially, all of a sudden, I'm not doing 6 damage, I'm doing 8 damage. And the way Dice Throne works, damage is calculated at the end. So if you choose Widow's Gauntlets, as per your example, and you drop the upgrade into play, even if you don't upgrade Widow's Gauntlets, if you upgrade something else, this is going to check its damage at the end.
So you just get like a surprise attack.
Yeah, I think you could have these big attack bursts out of nowhere. Now, I might be wrong about that. It might be as soon as you activate this power, you get your 6 damage. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I know with Shadow Thief, if you activate a power that deals damage equal to CP and then spend CP on cards, that damage is still locked in. So actually, I'm probably wrong. That whole explanation is probably wrong.
Well, no, because that's in... You can't... Like, it's not before the damage. And, like, if you gain the CP and it's like...
I don't think this text down here... this add 1 damage, but I don't think this is an attack modifier. I think the way it works is I roll my attack.
I was saying you gain the 1 CP and then you play it while you're doing before you do the 6 damage. So
let me finish what I'm saying, and before you disagree with me, all right? So you roll this, you declare this is your attack, okay? Now we're in the like defending phase essentially. I use Red Room Training to upgrade Infiltrate, right? So now I have another upgrade in play, but this already happened. This already triggered at the time that I said I was activating Widow's Gauntlets.
Well, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you upgrade Widow's Gauntlets after you get the CP from it. Would it upgrade the damage? Or
I don't think so.
Is that like
that's
an
exact
attack phase?
So again, I think the damage this power deals when you do roll phase damage, that damage is locked as far as what the roll is generating at the time that you activate the power. Now you can play attack modifiers and other things, but using the example of the Shadow Thief, if I'm going to deal 15 damage based on CP, I get that 15 and then I play a card and I go down to 12, that 15 is still coming at you because that's what was locked in at the time that I activated the power. So I don't think playing an ability upgrade mid-roll phase... I mean, you could before you activate the power.
But I mean, you activate it, then you play it. So would you have a surprise attack? I feel like...
I think you should play it while you're rolling dice before you lock it in, if that's what you're trying to do.
I'm saying I activate Widow's Gauntlet. I upgrade Widow's Gauntlet. Now does Widow's Gauntlet do more damage because that 6 would boost up?
No. You would have to upgrade it before you activate the gauntlets. I'm like 87% sure.
That I don't get from it is because it changes the print on the card.
What it lets What it lets you do is roll and see what your dice are going to be. Like, let's say you have 2 different upgrades in hand, right?
Yeah.
And you roll and you think you're going to do Widow's Gauntlet, and then, you didn't get that last espionage, you got a Widow instead. So now you're going to do Infiltrate. And before you activate the power, instead of upgrading Widow's Gauntlets, you instead upgrade Infiltrate. Whereas with every other character in the game, you have to sit there in the main phase and go, okay, well, Widow's Gauntlet's probably a higher percentage. I'm going to upgrade that now. Then you go into your roll phase and, I rolled Infiltrate, so I didn't benefit from my upgrade. I think that's how it's meant to work.
Time. But
like 90, 87, somewhere in there % sure that that's how it's going to work. I don't think you can play this during the defensive roll phase, because at that point the damage from the power is already locked in. But we're not going to solve this just by saying it back and forth. So let's keep moving on. The last part of this red room here, giving all your attacks +1 damage, that is
if you
massive.
have at least 5 abilities.
That's huge. Now, I get that it's all this damage spread out across the whole board, so each individual instance of that power impacting the game is going to feel small. But if you think about this in terms of
going to do it.
Every place where you see a number, that number gets +1. This might be the biggest attack buff in the entire game.
But you need at least 5 ability upgrades.
True, but you're starting with covert ops.
I agree
3
with
of
you.
them,
I just wanted to make sure that you read that part, because you just said +1 attack.
Yeah, once you get the 5, you're right. We shouldn't lose sight of that, because that means this isn't gonna turn on until later in the game.
Yeah.
In Dice Throne Adventure, this is gonna be boss. You're gonna have all the time in the world to set up, and then you're just gonna be able to walk every guy. In a 1v1 game, her not having her damage get that buff until later in the game, it might be too late against somebody like Pyromancer. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, Widow's Gauntlet, except we've already talked about that so much.
All right.
We haven't done the review if we like it or not.
We didn't.
Though.
Oh, you're right. We didn't.
We just talked about it.
We got a little wrapped around an axle there for a while, but that's okay. Like, that's one of the things I like about doing these videos. Sometimes we make mistakes, which I don't like, but sometimes we start off looking at a card one way and then we figure it out as we talk through it. And I think that's helpful for people, because not all of us understand the cards right when we see them the first time, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, we're all people. Sometimes writing's hard to read.
So this is basically a Death Blossom, like in terms of roll percentages, except because the dice faces are different than the ninja, it looks different. But you gain a CP, you deal 6 damage, which feels a little weak based on these dice faces, honestly. And then
add 1 per upgrade. So if you, for every
1
upgrade,
damage, yeah.
you add 1. So if you have 4 upgrades, if you have 5, then that acts as +6 because of Red Room.
Yeah, if you upgrade your whole board, this is a massive damage power.
But also plus Red Room, that equals +7 damage if you have 5 upgrades in play.
I forgot about the Red Room play. You're absolutely right.
Plus.
So this starts off early in the game. You do not want this power, because 6 damage is, especially with what this roll is. But late game, this is going to be like the Shadow Thief rolling Insidious Strike over and over again at the end of the game for 15 damage every time.
Yeah, agreed. That is.
All right, so let's move over here to Hacked.
Okay, so
I really like this art.
Inflict a time bomb, deal 5 damage. If you have at least 3 ability upgrades in play, deal 3 damage. And from Red Room,
Stop. If you have at least 3 ability upgrades in play, deal 7 damage instead.
I did say that.
You said deal 3 damage. Anyway,
wait,
so
where did I read 3?
3 ability upgrades.
Oh, wait.
I guarantee that's what happened. So,
but go back, because Red Room, that's almost a guaranteed 3 ability upgrades that you're going to be able to play.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and if you don't naturally draw them, this is 9 cards you get to look at. That's 1/3 of your total deck size.
Or you can search your deck if you don't have them.
Yeah, exactly. But that's going to let you, going 9 cards deep, she probably has a 32, 31 card deck, right? No, yeah. 32. Everybody has 32s except for 2 of the characters, I think, have 32.
Yeah, and one of those is Cursed Pirate.
Not counting promos. Or mythics. # spoiler alert. Okay, so small straights are not hard to roll. Like, you nat roll these all the time. If you're targeting for them, I feel like small straight is one of the things you can get, not more reliably than a basic attack, but pretty reliably. Yeah. With Shadow Thief, I would argue a small straight is easier to hit than his basic attack, but somebody who does math better than me might say I'm statistically wrong with that claim. I'm not sure. Inflicting Time Bomb, I really like. I was kind of hoping to see more Inflicting Time Bomb across the board, although I am really happy to see it on small straight, because again, I felt like this might be a little too hard to roll, and this is not hard to roll. So yes, this is what I wanted. I wanted to throw more Time Bombs on people.
Agreed. And I like this. I like this a lot because it's so easy to. I mean, if you start the turn with your first turn with 3 covert ops, you can pop every single one of them in almost from the beginning of the game. Bam, bam, bam.
Well, and if we assume the time bombs go off, this is a 9 damage small straight.
Yeah, and also go back to time bomb because I forgot. What is the requirement? So if you have, okay, 1 second.
You have to have 6 ability upgrades to start on the 1.
So you'll have half by that time. So.
Well, more than half. There's 8 total board spots. So you have to get 6, and you have to draw 6. Which, if she has a lot of things in her deck that are like Basic Strike 2, Basic Strike 3, Sabotage 2, Sabotage 3, and multiples of upgrades,
Sabotage 5.
Getting a spread out of them might be a problem. I don't know. The higher damage. This is a good power. Hacked is really good. I think it's a great power. Oh, and I didn't even think about the Red Room additional damage too.
I forgot about that one too.
This is a lot of damage. Like early game, it's a little bit anemic, but late game, this is baller. This is not hard to roll, and it's gonna smack people hard. Now, having the time bomb on a delay. Do you have enough time? Like we haven't got to her defense yet, so I don't know how spongy this character is gonna be. Large straight. Again, really like the artwork here. I say that way too much, but it's always good. Gain agility, which is not the best power in the world. Deal 7 damage, roll 4 dice, add 1 for each baton, which is her 3-face. On a 1 or a 2, inflict time bomb. I like that. And on double 6s, get a covert ops. Ooh, you know what we haven't seen? Many ways to gain covert ops other than starting with 3.
Agreed.
Ooh. Well.
Wait a second. Luck. I guess we'll do. Can we go to the alt? Just skip.
No, we got to do the mini alt or the mic. Yeah, we
I
do
have
mini alt, then we do alt. Nope. We're doing it in the same order. So grapple. This is the mini alt. We gain an agility, a status which I've already I talked about enough. Deal 6 undefendable damage. That feels decent. Plus 1 undefendable damage per ability upgrade you have in play. You know what word I'm really happy to not see there? Pure. I'm really happy to not see the word pure. So you can use attack modifiers here. And if you have at least 2 upgrades in play, you gain a CP. Now, I don't really care about the CP so much. Yes, I actually do care about it, given the overall arc of how I think this character is going to need to be played. CP generation is going to be really critical to her because she's going to have to just dump those resources into upgrading her board. This damage has really excellent upward potential. Like, this could be a lot of damage.
Yeah, same here. I agree with you completely, but I wish that instead of agility, it would inflict time bomb.
And does she have any attack modifiers built in? No. So she doesn't have any attack modifying status effects that she can use here, but we have to assume she's got some attack modifying. Yeah, like here's one right here, subversion. So if you get this, you can be doing ultimate size damage in the mid to late game pretty easily, I think.
Yeah. And, okay, so ult. But I want to go back to visions now to say what I think about the ult. So search your deck for 2 ability upgrades, then put them into play.
Ooh.
Shuffle your deck, inflict time bomb, deal 10 damage. Well, I was about to say it doesn't give you covert ops, but I think this is better than covert ops.
So this is an ult that you really want to see early in the game. Like, this is a character that might want to really push to try to use dice manipulation cards early to try to get off an early ult, because this would juice everything else she does relies on getting those ability upgrades out and getting 2 out of your deck for free. It both thins your deck, and like they say, you got to thin it to win it, and you don't have to invest the CP. Oh, that's an old Magic the Gathering term.
I don't like Magic.
You make your deck get thinner, so you are more likely to draw the better cards.
Well,
10 damage is fine.
What I was going to go on is Vengeance gives you covert ops, but your ult doesn't. But I think that's the reason why we don't get covert ops on the ult.
Yeah. Getting 2 ability upgrades
why don't we get agility?
Is like getting 2 covert ops, kind of. It's a little bit better because you get to grab them out of your deck.
But why don't we get an agility? Usually ults give you all your abilities.
Yeah, but I don't really care about agility at all.
I don't like it at all.
This flavor text made me laugh out loud. You might think I'm cold-hearted. I am. Okay, Natasha. Okay.
I think that you're a cold-hearted killer, but I don't think that you want to say.
I know what happened on Voromir. You're not cold-hearted. Anyway.
Well, no, they're cold-hearted in the fact that they want to kill themselves.
Sabotage, you're only rolling 3 dice. You're dealing damage on your most common dice face. You're preventing damage on your second, and you need double 6s to inflict a time bomb. If you have at least 4 ability upgrades in play, you may re-roll any of these dice. This feels very reminiscent of the ninja, which I think is appropriate. That's fine. I like how the ninja feels. I like that this feel is being used in Black Widow. What I don't like is damage prevention looks like it's going to be hard to come by. I think she is actually going to have to rely on agility as like a Bobo smoke bomb, and that makes me a little worried about how squishy she's going to be. I don't think she's going to deal with characters like Barbarian and Pyro very well.
I think she's just going to die, fall dead there.
Well, let's not get too dramatic.
She's dead meat.
This, more than any other character, I wish we could see the cost on these cards, because what I hope is that almost all of her abilities cost 1 CP. She's going to have to invest so much CP into ability upgrades that I want her instance and attack modifiers to... You can make them not that strong. That's fine. She has other ways of modifying her attacks. Like, this is a pretty weak attack modifier.
Well, based on the ability thing, though, it's strong.
Yeah, but I want her to have really cheap cards, even if they don't do a whole lot on their own. That's fine. That just frees us up to spend CP on her ability upgrades, which is really important. So, that's the whole board. What are your final parting thoughts on Black Widow?
The art was worse on this character, but I love it.
I mean,
love this character so much. I love it a lot.
Even if this is your least favorite artwork, it's still pretty gorgeous.
That is very true.
Is this the character that you want to play first?
No. And I think that leaves one last option
It's
for us
also
both.
the character I don't want to play first, and even though nobody's going to believe us, I assure everyone, we did not actually plan on having the same character as the character we're both most excited to play. So next time we will see you for the final Marvel Dice Throne Hero Review.
And that one's going to be live as well.
Oh, I guess we're going to do that one live.
And yeah, I cannot wait to review Scarlet Witch, and I think you both know... we both know that you all know who we want to play most then.
All right. Well, till next time, go win some games.